We're back in black.
Welcome back.
Oh my God, I'm tired. I'm done. That's all I could do, guys, tonight. I'm done. Are you guys paying attention?
Bye, Dave.
Bye.
We are.
See you later. So listen, everybody. Thanks for tuning in tonight to listen to our show. We got a pretty good show tonight. We're going to talk about We're going to talk about PPP and DeSantis and pretty much everything else we talk about that we talked about yesterday or the other show the other night. So now we're going to have a pretty good show tonight. Currently live on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and LinkedIn. If you have a chance, go on there, take a listen. If you can't listen live, listen to us, our podcast. I listen to our podcast all the time. Anywhere you get a podcast, we're there. You can go to consultlivenow.com, or I'm sorry, go to bartalknow.com, and you can get our podcast directly from there. Plus, you can watch the videos in HD. And if you can't go there, Apple, Spotify, Google, pretty much anywhere you can get a podcast, that's where we are. I'm Dropkick Dave. We have Christopher G. Fry, Esquire, in the house.
ESQ.
And we have the Nick in the house.
Hello, everybody.
Say hello.
I don't have a nickname yet.
Well, here we go again. That's a good song, but I'm kind of done with that. I continue to make mistake over and over and over again. Maybe we need somebody else just to do this for us, because I am too tired to deal with it in the evening time, man. These long day today. God, long day, huh?
Every day's a long day.
God, man. I mean,
it's because we're here like 14 to 16 hours a day.
Just a long day today.
It's just one long day.
It's like, yeah, really, really long. So what's going on with you guys?
Getting things done.
Yeah.
Day by day. Florida, man. I got to tell you.
No. Here we go.
I mean, I know we keep, this PPP and the DEO, or it's just
the what? The DDO?
Department of Economic Opportunity.
Oh, gotcha.
You know, I know we're like the story. Everything that I wrote
DLEO
down is
Is that it?
It's just
the Department of Lack of Economic Opportunity.
Yeah. It's almost I don't know. It's just very, very frustrating. Falling further and further behind. Have yet to. They've only done 28% of the applications.
That's insane. These poor people don't have no money, man. How the hell are they? How are they eating?
Well, I'll tell you.
I'm just asking you. How are these people eating?
You haven't seen any cats in any neighborhoods recently, have you?
That's true. I mean,
when's the last time you saw roadkill?
Yeah, these poor people, man, have not. I mean, they're not paying their bills. They're not eating. I mean, a lot of them are families, man. I mean, this state of Florida should be ashamed of itself. Seriously, you got people out there. Thank God for some other folks, some bigger companies that have kind of stepped in to help a little bit, because this state, what a joke, man.
And the charitable organizations.
Yeah.
I mean, they're out in school buses,
yeah,
delivering food and stuff. And
yeah, it's crazy.
It's
man.
sad.
It's going to get worse. Man. It's getting worse.
You know, that's I mean, this country was supposed to take care of people that couldn't, take care of themselves, and the elderly people in this country just stomps all over them, man. It's just constant. You think it would get better, and it's not. DeSantis, what did he come out and say today?
Well, it wasn't. I didn't. Okay, so there's a couple of things that are happening that are going to kind of squeeze us a little further. One thing is, in terms of your unemployment benefits, he's making people go back to the site that hasn't been working and register every 2 weeks to say that they haven't been working. So you're taking a system that's crashing without people going on it, and you're having the other people go back and redo it.
How does that make any sense?
That have been qualified. So you're asking more people to come back to the site. Meanwhile, almost 28%. So 72% haven't been helped, and people are going to be going back, still trying to see what's going on, still trying to go what's on. And it's like, it's
and what are they going to do? They're going to go back every 2 weeks.
They got to log on, and they got to say, yep, still not getting paid. And if they don't,
and they haven't been paid yet.
If they don't, and then they lose their benefits.
Absolute, whatever, dude. How do you explain that?
How does that make sense?
It doesn't make any sense.
Oh, there was always a requirement to log in and post job applications and things to show that you were proactively looking for a job. But now we're talking about people who couldn't get logged in or registered to begin with to be processed, and they're going to have to now go back every 2 weeks.
Do they even have internet? I mean, have they paid for internet? The internet should be shut down. I mean, these poor people, dude. It's a shame. It's crazy.
Now, in addition to that, right, as a subset of that, you have people that are fielding phone calls, right, because they hired a couple thousand people to handle phone calls. So people are calling in mass bomb threats.
Oh my God!
Suicide.
All of which need to be reported to law enforcement.
Has anybody done any research on that? See if the suicide rate has gone up?
I haven't seen anything directly written in regards to that.
Because I know a lot of depression's going on out there, man. And you already have people that are ready to jump off the ledge. And it's like, dude, I mean, just keep pushing them. And now they see no...
Everything's ratcheted up.
Yeah. Now they see no light. No light at the end of the tunnel, dude.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I know on my social media... outlet, I see a lot more people. You can see them
what outlet's that,
weaving in and out
Facebook?
Of like first they were upbeat, hey, positive day, and then the next week it's like, man, this is really getting to me, and then the next week it's, man, I can't take this, and then the next week it's like, and it's just slowly but surely getting worse and worse and worse.
I think I'm bipolar. I'm in a great mood sometimes, and other times I don't know if it's bipolar or stress. I don't know what.
Or hunger, hangry.
Stress will do it.
Yeah, I think it's just stress.
Stress does a lot.
Yeah, stress causes a lot of bad things, and Nugenics doesn't help.
It's like taking that rubber band and stretching it tighter.
Yeah. So it was nice to get out the other night, right?
Oh man,
we went out for a little bit. Kiwis, love our Kiwis, man. I want to throw them out there. They've done such a good job at that place. They fixed it up.
An example of how you make your employees get money, right? It's time for improvement. We're not going to be open. Let's make some changes. Let's do it while we're...
No. They got their shit together at Kiwis. I like going in there. Great food. I
like the new setup.
Just really laid back. Yeah. It looks good. So it was nice to get out and see them the other night.
Great soft pretzels.
Yeah, the soft pretzel was good.
Have you noticed how people that are working seem happier?
Well, yeah. Oh, man. It's starting to open up. I think Disney Springs coming in May 20th. Disney Springs is going to open up. So I think it'll slowly start getting there or whatever. But
now
I mean, just look back. Did this really happen? I mean, it's almost like a bad dream, dude. Really.
There has been a Groundhog Day effect almost with everything that's been going on, and you'd made comment, like, you don't know what day it is. What date it is, it's really bizarre.
You wake up and it's like, oh, it's Friday. I thought it was Wednesday.
Yeah.
Because it's every day is the same.
Yeah. Yeah. Every day is ass busting for me in the office.
Yeah, but look how much you've accomplished.
Just today alone.
I mean every day we say that, though, right? I mean, you look back and, you
got your pen drawer all straightened out.
Yeah.
Remember in February, March.
Dude. Today was great. We put those videos up. We got a cool little section now with videos on the features page on the website. Website's looking really, really good. The back end of the website's looking good. Everything's coming together. The app, another feature was added today on the app. So you'll be able to be on the video, and if you need to make a note or you need to do whatever, you can just click a button and go make a note and just, stuff. The app was built for attorneys by attorneys. I mean, we know what they want, and we're putting everything that they want on it. The pricing was finalized today, so everything was finalized on the pricing, which is super cheap. We're gonna give our people a week free trial, so all these attorneys can get on and play with it and get addicted to it, because we know that's what's gonna happen. They're gonna get on, they're gonna fall in love with it, and it's $100 for a firm and $49 a user. So if you have, if you're just a single guy and you're just a one trick pony and you're doing everything on your own, it's $149 a month, unlimited storage, unlimited video, unlimited group videos, unlimited onboarding, unlimited everything.
Push
for $149. Oh, unlimited push notifications.
Yes.
We just ran into websites
huge.
the other day. We're $100 a month just to do push notifications. So it's huge. Unlimited secure instant messaging, everything in a secure platform, $149. If you are a firm with 3 people, it's that $100, and it's only another $150. So for $250 a month, you have a complete firm in your hands for 3 people. So it's $100 a month and $49 a person. So
with still all the unlimited stuff.
All the unlimited stuff is included. Everything's included, man. So it's
It's
a grand
literally
slam.
unlike anything else
Yeah.
out there.
Well, on top of that, we didn't even include the onboarding. So the attorney will go on, he'll be on a list, and when somebody needs an attorney, they'll go on to the onboarding in their area, and if somebody needs an attorney, they click the attorney, and boom, he gets an instant phone call from somebody needing his services. So just if you put that in the mix, so you might get a couple clients a month out of the deal.
And
So-
you can sign them right on the phone.
Right, yeah, sign them up right over the phone, send them a intake form,
Intake
and
form and a
retainer agreement right through the phone, right through the app, and it's just it's incredible. It takes you 5 minutes.
And it's
as a firm.
customized.
Yeah.
And it's customized.
Right.
Yes.
It literally takes you 5 minutes to get signed up. If you're an attorney, you go on, sign up as a firm, and get signed up. It literally takes you like 5 minutes. You're up. You're on the app. You can start using all the features. So, there's more to come. More to come. We're going to get into more of it. But the pricing has been finalized. $100 a month. It's called firm price. $100 a month, and it's $49 a user. I don't care if you have 1,000 users. I don't care if you have 20 users or whatever. It's $49 a user. So it is the ultimate communication platform for attorneys and clients. There's nothing else like it. There will never be anything like it. It is it's pretty spectacular. So we're pretty happy about that.
That doesn't even do it justice.
Well,
I know, man.
yeah, I mean, it's an amazing product
Right.
in and of itself. With the present circumstances with
Right.
the COVID, obviously, that's not a selling point, but it just
It kind of
happened to
is because we
coincide.
never know, Chris. We never know when this is going to happen again. Really,
Right.
it's always going to be in the back of people's minds. Is if this ever happens again, I've got a tool now that I can not only have stay in touch with my employees because they're users, and I can have video conferencing with my with my administrative assistant, with my paralegal, with my secretary, with my other attorneys that are in my firm, with all my clients, with witnesses, whatever. It's a complete communication device. They can have that on group chat or they can do single, and it's all included in the app. And it's HD and it's secure. So you can't ask for anything else, man.
Minimal cost.
Yeah, unlimited cloud document storage, which is absolutely crazy.
Oh,
Unlimited push notifications.
Even on your iPhone, you're paying
Yeah.
for cloud storage.
We did a video today. So if you want more, go to consultlivenow.com. You can go on there, click on the features. If you go on there and click on features, you'll see we've actually got videos they're starting to post for each feature.
Right, and it shows you how each feature works.
Right.
It literally walks it through.
Right. So we actually put up today, the attorney sign up, easy attorney sign up. Yesterday was easy client like, for example, you're an attorney, you signed up. How difficult is it to bring in my clients? So I have, 20 clients. I need to bring them in the app. It's literally as easy as a text message. So, I mean, it doesn't get any easier to onboard your clients. So there's, it's unlimited client onboarding. Today, what did we put up today? What was up today, the new one that I was so proud of?
Let's see. Whiteboarding's already been up.
Yeah,
push notifications was.
Oh, push notifications.
Push
I want to get into that.
notifications.
Yeah, I mean, push notifications are crazy. We did a good one today. Like if you have a firm and you have 100 clients, 200 clients, 300 clients, 1,000 clients, whatever you have, we did like a little happy Mother's Day from the Dickinson law firm. And you can just like type that in, press a couple buttons, boom, it goes out to all as a push notification that gets opened up 94%, 99,
Right.
yeah, something like that. They open it up and they get a nice little message letting them know you're thinking about them. I mean, for that kind of marketing, come on, $149 a month.
Yeah,
for,
and how many people do you touch in like less than 20 seconds?
It's crazy.
You
So the pricing's right. And this is a pricing that we've picked to last until the end of the year. We didn't want to really stick it to the attorneys. We know that you're getting it too, man. I mean, attorneys have to have clients to survive, and if you don't have clients, you don't have money. So we get it. We understand. You're a small business. I mean, that's what attorneys are. They're a small business.
Exactly.
And everybody thinks, and you said it perfectly the other day. Everybody thinks that, oh man, he's an attorney, he's a multimillionaire, and that's not the case.
Hardly.
Man. Yeah.
How much have we seen? How we've always wondered, like, hey, I wonder this or I wonder that. And you're seeing how leveraged people are
Right.
from a credit perspective, or cash poor, or however you choose to,
Well, they have employees and they have things, and these PPP loans. Some of these PPP loans didn't come through or whatever, and it's hurt a lot of people. So we didn't want to hurt you anymore. So we came up with a great price, and we're going to have that until the end of the year, and it lets you become familiar with the app, lets you have it, and use it, and actually possibly get a couple clients out of it, a month.
And it's
then
free for the clients.
It's free for the clients. Yeah, it's free for the clients and the
download
user.
it.
We don't charge the user anything to download it or the clients to be on it whatsoever. I don't care if you had 50,000 clients. You can invite every one of them free. They can be on the app, use the app free. So there's no cost to that. So it's just a ton of benefits. Great program. Great. Ton
of features, but not a ton of learning curve.
Oh, everything's simple.
I mean,
we have a video on showing how to do everything.
You'll be able to use every feature.
A week. I would literally say 2 days. I mean, I don't even think a week. I think, we've made doing the video easy. We made doing the group videos easy. We made as a user to sign up. We've made that easy. We've made it easy for you as an attorney, a law firm to practice to sign up. We've made that easy. We've made everything easy, and Avo actually helped. Avo, you type in the Avo number, everything's self-populated. It's just
it brings up the attorney's entire profile.
Right. You can
percentage of business in each area of law that they practice.
Yeah, you can
everything.
actually be on a consultation, live video chat consultation, and they can actually click the Avo, and it'll pull up all the history and everything about that attorney that you're speaking with. So we did everything the right way. We did everything the right way, and we are to say we're excited about June 1st it's kind of an understatement. So we're pumped.
Huge understatement.
So and it's cross-platform. So if you're an attorney and you don't want to work on your phone all day, you want to sit in front of your computer and interview your clients or have consultations with your clients or your staff or whatever you want, then you can use your computer. That's how easy it is. Everything's cross-platformed and it's all updated live. So if you save something on the app, it's saved on the website format as well, immediately in real time. Yeah. So it is. It's incredible.
How fast is that document scanner too?
Oh my God, everything's fast.
Right.
Everything just works great, man. It's just smooth,
instantaneous,
and easy to use. And look, I don't want to put anybody down. There's a lot of good software products out there for attorneys, like Clio, and and then we're going to implement LawPay. So we're going to have LawPay in it, where you can do billing and invoicing. But Clio, Smokeball. We went to the American Bar Association, and we went there, and we met some really good people. Some people with some great software products. Clio's probably the leading. There's Practice Panther. There's a bunch of different ones. They're not in our lane. We're not competing with them. We're something completely different. We are a relationship manager instead of you know what I mean. That's what we're building. We want you to have a good relationship with your clients, because if you have a good relationship with your clients happy, everybody's happy, and it really makes a difference. And so that's what we are.
Well, and like you were talking about the cross-platform, an attorney, you go to court in the morning or a hearing or whatever you need to do, you come back to your office, you can go on your computer and you can go through 10, 15, 20 clients and have a face-to-face video conference with them about their cases, bringing them up to speed. It's logged into your history log. Everything that you talk about, there's the task manager, there's the notes.
Well, you can even be in court and make a note, like the judge has pushed off a court date for a month, and you have a client that's home or at work. He's already on edge because he doesn't know what's going on with his case. He didn't have to appear, so you're appearing on his behalf. And so he doesn't know what's going on. And then when the judge actually says, hey, look, it's been postponed or it's done this, you can just go in, make a quick little note, and share it with the client. And the client gets a push notification right away saying, hey, look, your court's been pushed off until, whenever it is. But it's like complete transparency. The client knows what's going on with his case at all times. There's shared notes, shared tasks, shared documents, everything. You guys are like a team. You're working together to get through your case. There's no other product like that, period. Now, there's some things that you don't want to share with the client. There's some things, some notes and some things, documents, things that are put in there that are just inter-office, inter-firm documents that you don't need to share with you. We also give you that opportunity. You don't have to share the document with your client. There's some things you're not gonna share, and some things you are, but we give you the opportunity to do that. And there's not one other software product out there that does that. We do that. We do it in real time, and it's just perfect, dude. And like I said, we're not competing with Clio. We're not competing with anybody because they're in their own lane, and they have some pretty awesome products, man. They got some really nice CRMs and some great products. We're a relationship product. That's what we are. That's what we like to consider ourselves. And our calendar, he finished the calendar today and added a bunch of features. Our calendar is badass. It's the best calendar out there.
And it's synced across the board.
Oh, yeah, it syncs with everything. It syncs with everything. So, I mean, like if you put something in the calendar, and on top of that, so say you're a firm and you're a firm admin, okay, and you have 10 attorneys, and you have somebody that's in charge of those 10 attorneys, that firm admin can actually go in and view all the cases, all the calendars, everything that attorney's done for that day is right there at the tip of your fingers. You know everything that's going on. You know all your attorney's calendars, everything. So if you have a larger firm and you have an administrator or something, and court dates get set and all that stuff, they can go in and just put that in there and update your calendar immediately. And now you know your schedule right from your phone. You don't have to like run to the office and look it up on. So everything works out great. Everything is.
And if you did want to look it up, it's right on your phone anyway because you go into documents and you have.
Yeah, you click
the notice
calendar.
Of hearing
it's
or
a
whatever
tab. You click calendar and it's done. You know, today we finished the process of actually when you're in a video consultation, when you're talking to a client, whether it be a new client or a previous client. There's now a little bridge where you can actually just click on the bottom. It opens up, and if you have to make a quick note or something while you have the client on the video chat, you click it, you make a quick note, you can save it, you can send the note to him, you can send a document, say, oh yeah, I have that document, hold on a second, I'll send it to you. You can be on a video chat and say, let me send that document to you real quick, boom, 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 like a intake agreement. Okay, and boom, boom, boom. You're actually still on the phone, and you're actually able to do it right from your phone, and you send the document immediately.
And the client can do it as well, because there were many times when you're the attorney, and let's say during your consultation or a conversation or what have you, they were telling you that they're in the process of trying to find witnesses, for example.
Right.
And they've got some names, but it's like, well, I need, an address and a phone number, contact information.
Right.
And while you're on your video conference and they're feeding you the information, they're reading it off of wherever they have it jotted down.
Right.
And they could either just text it in the notes and it's there.
Well, they just send it. It's not text. It's instant messaging. They can put it in the notes. Right. They can put it in instant messaging. You can actually just say, hey, you know what? Let me record that part. You can press a button. We have record on the video. So you can say, hey, Mr. Taylor, look, I'm going to record you giving me your witness information if you don't mind. Yeah, no problem. Boom, you just press the record button. It records that. You can save it in your document storage, and it's a quick boom, boom, boom. And that way, if you want to go back and preview what the address was or what the information was, you can go back and preview it with because it's stored right in your document.
And it's completely accurate because you're listening to the video, recording.
Yeah, so it's a grand slam, boys.
It's like, and like you're making them
it's
look
like being at Willy Wonka's
so
chocolate
cool.
factory. And
it's
like being at Willy Wonka's chocolate factory.
Get one of those giant gummy bears?
Yeah, what's the thing that comes rolling out where they all grab one and they're like, oh, I want mine, and then he gives his back.
Everlasting
Gobstopper.
Yeah.
That's what we have. We have the everlasting Gobstopper, boys.
We do.
We do, man.
You don't have to lick any wallpaper here.
Yeah,
nope.
No, that's exactly what we have. So it's been exciting. So let's get off Consult.
The snozberries taste like snozberries.
Yeah, we can talk about Consult all night long, and we do, even though I think I talk about it in my sleep, actually. So let's get on to some other stuff here, and let's talk about. What do you want to talk about?
Well,
I know we have some stuff.
I'm not done with Ronnie DeSantis yet.
Oh, let's talk Ronnie. Let's have Ronnie talk.
The 17th, it's due to the moratorium on the evictions will be lifted of this month. So
I didn't know there was a moratorium on evictions. I know the court systems weren't open, so they couldn't.
They put a moratorium anyway. April 2nd. They put it into effect, and now he can't extend it. But as you know, right now they're scheduled to lift on the 17th. And then the crazy part is like Cuomo in New York has pushed everything back through August.
I know LA County pushed everything back to the end of July.
So, and that seems reasonable.
They got hit hard. Yeah. They got, I know that there's still going to be a lockdown to the end of July. There's a mandatory what is it? Hide in place, lock in place, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shelter
in place, whatever it is.
Social distancing.
Yeah. Until the LA County, until the end of July. Which is crazy. I mean, it's nuts. So I still think this is a bad dream. I mean, this is insane.
And what's weird is how each state and county has their own way of doing things, right? So nothing's uniform or It's all differs, know, which really puts an importance on voting locally.
Oh my God,
Right.
yeah. I mean, look at the nitwits that run like jurisdictions and run small. I mean, come on, the mayors. Yeah,
we've seen some things locally. For instance, walking and closing the park at 8:00. Right. So what essentially happens is people are going to walk because they've been cooped up. Right. So I don't think it's getting. And those that want to stay home will stay home.
Right.
But for those that want to be out, so you're basically squeezing time, which actually means that there's going to be more people.
Right.
Per hour there,
right?
Then if they because we would go around 9.
Oh
or,
yeah,
it
makes no sense to close the
and
park
there would
at
be
8
less
o'clock.
people there.
Is COVID more rampant at 9? I mean,
No.
it makes absolutely no sense to close the park.
We're seeing that, and I just don't. I don't get it. To me, it's like there needs to be some common sense decisions. And I know that a lot of them are probably have to do with some sort of financial issues.
Oh yeah,
still.
that's the city saying, "Oh man, we don't want to pay people until 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock." So I don't know,
or have to police it, or what have you.
Well, you're not seeing as many police around, are you?
No.
I mean, at least municipalities, I haven't seen. I've seen more county. But I haven't seen a lot.
And I think they're probably more noticeable because there's less cars on the road.
Yeah, I read a stat the other day that even though there's less cars on the road, there's been a disproportionate amount of
tickets.
No, accident deaths.
Really?
Which means people are probably just speeding
blowing
too
red
fast,
lights,
speeding too fast and crashing.
Hey, there's no one on the road, so
did we?
Hit it.
Do we know who took that? So who took that case? I guess it was a case. There's another case, a stand your ground case here in Orlando. Was it McNamara? Is that his name, McNamara?
I can't
Who was
say.
Zimmerman's attorney?
It was O'Meara, wasn't it?
O'Meara, yeah, Mark O'Meara. I think Mark O'Meara actually took another case, another stand your ground case. I think he took here, and then you have.
Was it the case recently?
No, I think the case recently was in Georgia. I don't think that was in.
Yeah, there was one in Georgia.
Yeah, I saw the video of that today. That was actually pretty bad.
Was it the runner?
Yeah, they just shot him. Yeah,
I didn't want to. And then they're saying that they're investigating the person that was doing the video. I guess they're going to look into that as well.
Yeah,
because he apparently knew the guys that were in the truck.
Right. Yeah. It's crazy.
Archaic.
There was a fight. There was an altercation. I mean, there was obviously a fight. The guy was fighting for his life, dude. I mean, he was punching, doing whatever. The guy had a gun. And I don't know. I don't know. I mean, if you want to fight somebody with a gun, I mean, these rednecks are unstable anyway. I don't know if that was a good choice to fight somebody with a gun. I don't know. But he certainly didn't need to be shot, dude. It was sad. It was sad to watch. It made me sick to my stomach.
Well, they say in those scenarios, it's fight or flight.
Yeah.
Yes. It comes down to one or the other. And I guess, if you feel threatened, then you're going to fight.
Yeah.
And clearly you're reacting on instinct. So,
yeah,
it's tragic.
It's sad. It made me sick to my stomach.
And how it was handled is really,
man. Come on. Things haven't. I mean, there's been a lot of change, but I mean, in certain parts of America, there's been not a lot of change. You know what I mean?
Well, look at we talk about northern Florida, right along that I-10 corridor.
Yes.
Outside of the year, make, and model of the cars, when you go into these towns,
right.
It's like going back to 1965, 19.
Turn of the century, Florida.
Yeah.
Some
it's
parts
crazy.
You still have a lot of people
North
out there that hate
Central.
other people for no reason, for the color of their skin or for their race. It is what it is. I mean, it's sad, but it's part of history. It's part of life, and you have to be careful. And but it made me sick to watch that kid get shot. I mean, they shot him, and then he ran. He tried to run away, and he stumbled, and he died right there on the spot. It made me sick. So. And there was like 3 of them. So why do you need to shoot him? I mean, it just, I don't know. It's just like Zimmerman. The same thing was that douchebag. God, I'd love to get him on the show so I could.
That's like
smack the living
sparking
shit
a
out of him.
fight to justify an execution.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Look, he was found not guilty and whatever. They did their job to get him off or whatever. But just stay in your freaking car. There was no reason for you to get out and confront a young kid, black kid, if that's what we want to call him, a black kid. And the black kid puts up a fight, and and then you shoot him. I mean, because you can't fight. You fight like a sissy, and you're getting your ass whooped. So you pull out your gun and shoot him. As far as I'm concerned, you deserve to get your ass whooped. It's none of your business. The kid was walking through. It's none of your business what the kid did. If he went and stole candy from a store or whatever he did, it's none of your business.
He grabbed a purse or knocked the kid down.
Call the police.
Yeah, that's what they're
Make a
for.
phone-
That's
make a phone
what
call.
911 is about.
Yeah.
You want to sit in your car and follow
Yeah.
him? That's
Yeah.
fine.
Give me a break.
You know, but
there's no reason
that's
for you
not
to
your
get out of your
job.
car, especially if you can't fight. If you get out of your car and you can't fight, then just expect to get your ass kicked.
Right.
I mean, it's just part of life.
Then don't go looking for a fight.
Yeah, exactly.
And bringing a gun with
And
you
then bringing a
is
gun and
not
shooting him is
justified.
crazy, dude. I mean, it's insane.
Well,
And the
we
kid
all know
died
people
and-
that can fight, right?
Yeah,
And the
yeah.
ones that can typically are very quiet.
Right. They
They're
don't
very
usually-
unassuming.
Yeah, right.
And I've seen guys that don't look like they, look like a tall drink of water, and I've seen them get into it, and they'll just put their foot beside somebody's head,
Right.
And you go, oh wow, that was really quick.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it was quick. It was quick, all right. I do that all the time.
It's just
Yeah.
like the little
I have
dogs. They
skills.
always think that they're guard dogs,
Right.
and the big dogs think that they're lap
Right.
dogs.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
that mentality.
You
The
know,
thing
it's
with being
funny,
a dog, though, is you can actually beat the shit out of another dog and then hump it.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Just to let them know who's
yeah,
boss.
just say, hey, check this out. Ooh, ooh. So,
Why am I seeing Scrappy Doo in my head?
yeah.
Okay. That's a little off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
welcome to the show.
So Disney Springs opening in May. I'm happy about that. I like
Yes.
Disney Springs. I like going down there. House of Blues. We like going down
Now-
there. I'm going to take
Great
everybody
con-
out.
Are they
Concert
going to have
venue.
any kind of crowd control in order
I have no
to,
idea, man. I know they're
how
gonna,
are they going to do that? Because it's such an open forum.
Yeah. Well,
how are you going to control
they're
the
going to
number of
limit
people there?
occupancy, clearly.
I guess they could set up lanes and
I know that in terms of
basically
Disney,
do a clicker. I
use the
guess.
click. I
Click
was
as
gonna
they come
say,
in. Click as they
come
go
in
out.
and say, sorry,
Yeah.
we hit
yeah,
20,000.
you're gonna have to. I think
Right.
that what they'll probably do is start in the parking lots, and probably gauge, how much they're going to bring in one parking lot, how much you're going to bring in
Right.
another parking lot.
Crazy.
Maybe reservations might play a huge
Yeah.
part, and because the way I read it today, clearly Disney's not open yet, but it sounded like all the places were going to be opening.
Restaurants. I know restaurants and
Stores.
and stores that aren't affiliated with Disney are opening.
Okay.
So and out at Disney Springs, there's a lot of stores out there, like a little shopping mall
Yeah,
area
yeah.
out there.
Right.
So the bowling alley, Splitsville, and some of the Disney stores and stuff like that will not be opening. But I think it's just a matter of time. I think it's just a matter of time before they get open and open.
Now Disney Shanghai opened, and they were sold out in like 3 minutes.
Yeah. No kidding.
And they're
they sold
set.
like
I think it's
every-
like 30% occupancy is what they're doing.
How many people live in Shanghai? It's got to be crazy, right?
lot.
It's got to be like 10 times the size of New York.
Oh, yeah.
Shanghai? Man, their population there is like brutal. It's crazy there.
Everybody, all the
And they all smoke.
oh,
Oh, man. They're all
Yeah.
smokers, man.
Europeans.
Can you
Asians?
smoke at Disney Shanghai?
I don't know.
That's an
That'd be an
interesting
interesting question.
question. Yeah.
We got to look into
There
that.
would be.
Yeah. I know that I know some international flights you can still smoke on. Believe
Oh,
it or
no
not.
kidding.
It's like, why would you smoke on international? I mean, why,
How about when you get on one of those old planes and they got the ashtrays
Ashtray.
still
Oh,
and the
yeah,
right.
arm
And the
rest?
the arm
Yeah,
rest that
I remember
folds
being
down.
a kid, man. Everybody you have smoking and non-smoking, and of course my parents smoked, so I'm stuck in smoking, and everybody's smoking. It's like Jesus.
Because,
Christ,
the
man.
invisible wall between the seats
Yeah,
keeps the
right,
smoke
right. Well,
locked
that's like
into the
restaurants,
smoke.
too,
Oh,
right?
you're,
Yeah.
we've talked
Right?
about that. How funny, you could be. You'd sit there and there would be a partition, not between you,
Right.
Not plexiglass, just a wooden like half wall,
Right.
And you would call that, difference between smoking and non-smoking, and to the non-smokers in their defense, they would always be like, "Why are you?" And I'm like, "I'm sorry, I work here, I can't."
And then the smokers, they always take a drag off their cigarette and then turn and blow it over their shoulder
Right.
into the non-smoking
yeah,
area.
right. Oh no,
And it's like, what the fuck are you doing?
I don't know about you.
I got
but
onion soup here. I don't
I'm-
need you
yeah,
smoking it.
right. Yeah,
It's smoky enough.
yeah, right.
I've been waiting 20 minutes for my cheese to melt.
Yeah,
And I got to deal with your fucking cigarette?
that's F-bomb Chris.
F-bomb Chris. That's two in like 30 seconds.
Yeah, it just rolls off his tongue too.
That's crazy.
I'm the guy that.
Do you do that in court? Are you allowed to drop F-bombs in the
Yeah,
court?
have you ever?
Oh, yeah, that's a great question. Have you ever dropped an F-bomb in court?
I
a trial.
not that I can recall, but I certainly
not saying
can't
much.
rule it out.
Yeah. Interesting. That's a good question.
Yeah.
Maybe that's one of the questions we need to start asking.
Particularly
attorneys.
closing arguments, because you just get on a roll and
Right. Just
you
kind of
know,
go on your.
Yeah, it was.
rant.
I was able to kind of really develop a skill for being able to do a full closing, like whether it was 30 minutes or 90 minutes, without really using notes or anything, just
Right.
going, and it's so much more effective
Fake it till you
than
make it.
sitting there. Yeah,
Just keep talking.
Just keep talking.
Did you ever smoke a cigarette while you did closing arguments?
Yeah.
So, Judge.
no, I just used some Red Man, and
Yeah.
but that was in North Central
Oh, my
Florida.
God.
That's
so-
Spring Hill too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the rest of the jury had the spittoon.
Have you ever had a judge that had chew during a case, a trial?
Chew.
Like
not
tobacco.
that was
or
man.
dip?
noticeable.
I
Not
bet you
that I,
they do.
not that I can,
bet you they
think, not
dip and
that I
they
can
chew.
think of.
Yeah.
I've had judges fall asleep.
Have you really?
Oh yeah,
Like how?
You're
like
kidding.
Briefly dozing
Yeah,
or
just
like
kinda
flat
like-
out.
they're just, I don't know, drifting off or playing on a computer or something. Next thing you know, it's like objection, and like you're like waiting for a ruling, and the judge's chair's turned around. It's like,
You're
you
kidding me.
see the bailiff
What if,
like
what,
nudge.
if, what, if,
Yeah.
what if everybody just like left the court?
Right.
And you're
Right.
like, okay, Judge, and that's all we got to say.
Yeah, that's
I
no
was
more.
like,
no
oh,
more.
yeah,
Yeah,
sustained.
yeah,
It's like,
no more defendants today, Judge. Where'd everybody go?
I tell you, I dip in and read the disciplinary things on the ABA, and it's really entertaining to see what some of these judges, man. They
Hey,
get,
listen, judges and attorneys, they're people, dude. I
Yeah.
mean, they still do stupid shit just like everybody
do.
else does. It is what it is.
I had a trial, and I've had a lot of trials, but in this one particular trial, and different lawyers have different conceptual, theories on what the most important part of a trial is. My theory was always that it's one unit and every part of it's important, but a lot of people say jury selection is, eminently important, because that's the only time when the jurors get to speak to you and you learn what their mindset is. Otherwise, they fill out these little, veneer forms where they answer some standard questions, and you try and gauge, who they are. Have you ever been convicted of a crime? Do you have a family member who is a victim?
Right.
Et cetera. And the judge usually will read those off, and then, each attorney for each side will ask questions. And I actually had a trial, and I was like stumped, because generally the state, I was doing criminal, so the prosecutor would go first, and they waived jury selection. I've never seen that before.
What?
Yeah. And this was like a DUI case, and the guy blew like a .17 or something like that. And they waived jury selection. They didn't ask a single question. And I had never seen that before. I was stunned. So I'm like, oh, I almost didn't know what to do. So then
Right.
I just get up, and I'm, of course, asking my questions and talking to them. And
Can you? Okay, so
Strange-
when you're asking questions, when you're doing this, do they bring in like one person at a time to talk to, or do they bring in a group and you're
well, they have a
interviewing
panel.
Okay.
And generally the way it works is, depending on what the charge is by statute or the rules of procedure.
Well, let's speak to just a DUI, for instance.
Yeah, well, you have a certain number of strikes, okay? So
Okay.
let's say if you have 3 what they call peremptory challenges or strikes, where you can strike a juror for any or no reason. Strikes for cause means that during the questioning they've indicated that for whatever reason they don't feel they can be fair and impartial, and so everyone agrees they're stricken for cause, and so they're off the panel. And then each side gets a certain number of strikes that they could exercise, and it has to be race neutral in certain situations. So,
How about gender?
no, not gender neutral, race neutral. And generally there just has to be some legitimate reason other than color or race as to why you want. I really can't remember ever having a trial where that became an issue.
They're going to have one in Georgia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that's
Yeah.
what they
Yeah.
do. So let's say if you're in Florida for everything other than a capital.
We are in Florida.
Right. And that's why I said Florida. So you have a 6 people. Well, a lot of people don't realize this, but it's actually a 6-person jury, not a 12-person
Right.
jury.
Unless it's capital. Or
Unless it's a capital.
Yeah, then it's 12.
And then it's 12. So for every other charge,
Not that I know this on a
it's,
first-hand
it's
basis.
6 people. So let's say they take 18. You basically are questioning the entire panel. You usually make a little kind of matrix, if you will, and jot down notes on, they each have a seat number, so it'll be juror number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And some judges do that. It's like jurors 1 through 6. Anybody stricken for cause, number 3. Okay, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Any strikes, and then you keep going until everyone agrees or everyone's out of strikes.
Ain't nobody got no time for that.
And that's how it works.
Yeah.
So you go there until you get your jury.
Imagine being able to do that over an app or over a computer, and having trials over an app.
Well,
or
they're
a computer.
talking about using video. I think it was Zoom or something for doing jury trials.
Oh, so we'll use unsecured
Right.
Zoom. Why not
Zoom
use consult government or consult court?
Crashes and
Oh, jeez. Did I give it away?
Was it you?
we'll have the people in Shanghai
Yeah.
listening to the jury trials.
Yeah.
There was a guy that was
Smoking.
getting sworn in via a Zoom,
Oh, yeah. It's
and they were
those are the ones that
they
those are the
put
guys.
pictures of like
Those are all appellate deals. You know that. Those are appeals. So let me get this straight. So you were sworn in over Zoom. You were having a trial over Zoom, and you lose the case. That that is a cause.
There's gonna be
for
ripples.
a cause for appeal. I mean,
Somebody's definitely.
Oh
gonna
my
appeal
God! It wasn't secure. We don't know that I wasn't given due process. Whatever it may be. Okay, they're going to cause a lot of appeals. The appellate attorneys are going to be rich. We'll just put it that way.
bankruptcy.
Oh, bankruptcy. Yeah.
Yeah,
A lot of stuff going on.
Nuts.
It's going to be crazy.
Yes.
Real estate.
you
How
ever-
many evictions do you think are going to get fought?
I don't know. Now there's an issue with that, right? Isn't we were talking about?
Yeah,
the
it's just
pushing off
there-
evictions
like you
and-
said, there's common sense things. Just like we were talking the other days. The banks have the power. Why can they not just stall the payments 90 days, tack it on the back end?
Yeah, mortgages.
Exactly.
Mortgages,
Renters are
car
different.
payments,
Yeah, renters
you
are
know.
different though. I mean, renters. They're. You have a lot of, and I kind of see both ways, I guess. If you're a homeowner and you're renting your house, you'd like to get paid because you're considering that income. You
Right.
have to feed your family.
Yeah.
But yet there's no jobs, so the people that you qualified to put in there, they haven't been able to work because of this pandemic. So it's a touchy situation, man. I feel for both. Really,
Yeah.
I really
Yeah.
do. I mean,
But also, you kind of want to, myself, I'm looking at it, I'm going, well, have they been good tenants? Are they out pounding the ground to try to get work? You look
Yeah.
at those things.
Yeah.
hopefully not destroying your place in the meantime,
Right,
you know,
yeah.
because
the
they're
kids are home,
they're
kicking holes
bored
in the
and
walls.
stir crazy.
Listen,
and
I've-
going
I've
Let's put a
batshit
dartboard up.
crazy.
I've heard
We'll
some
play darts.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the kids are home all day. I've heard some nightmare stories that would never make me want to be a landlord.
Oh, no.
Like people literally renting a house, and then within they'll make the first payment, and then they come in the house, and then they'll find that the whole house has been stripped of the copper.
Oh yeah,
Every
they'll rip out
light
the drywall,
fixture,
to take off wiring.
every fixture in the house, sink, the toilets have been removed, everything, and you're like, how the hell? What are they going to get for that copper? A couple bucks?
Yeah,
you know what I
pretty
mean.
much.
Crackheads.
I
With good
never,
credit.
yeah, right.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's just crazy. And then there was, I know one out. It was the renter or the owner was a friend of a friend, and they how's that crown? They lived in a wooded. It was on a couple acres, and these people
now
paid
you're
for a
making
couple
me
months,
punchy.
and then they didn't show up. And when they went to go collect the money, they had a tree company come in and cut all the trees down and sold the wood.
Oh my God.
And it was like a couple acre pine forest. That
There's
was
scumbags and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just there's scumbags over there. So you want to talk some law tonight? You want to talk
Yeah,
about, what
we
were
were
talk
actually
about? Expunging?
we had discussed that, and obviously I am still a licensed attorney.
Oh, let's talk about that for a second. So I know you don't like to brag about this, and I know that but didn't you go for a long time and didn't lose a trial?
Yes.
Yeah. Are we allowed to say how long?
Quite a lot.
So not only, in this book, so Chris actually wrote I'm very happy with this. I'm very pleased with this. When I got in this morning, you had it on my desk and I read it, and it's actually brilliant. So I don't know if a lot of people out there, you're going to get to know Chris pretty well because we're going to talk about him a lot. But as much of a pain in the ass he is, let me tell you, he is a brilliant writer. He's actually wrote a consult user's guide for the app, and it is it's like spot on, dude. I couldn't have done a better job. I mean, you're obviously a very talented writer. So
I appreciate it.
Was there
kudos to
any
you,
white
man.
cheddar popcorn stains on it?
Yeah, I can't keep the damn shit in my mouth, but I can.
So it's fantastic to have that.
Well, and what's nice about it is we had discussed afterwards is that you guys on the technical end are creating the videos, and once they're created, we're going to be able to cross-reference them with the manual, so people who are acclimating to the app when they get it, they're not only going to have the written, forms or manuals to go by, but it's going to reference the videos to watch to show how to use all the functions.
What I really liked about this, you're obviously doing another manual for us. So you're going to be doing a work from home, a remote.
Yes.
Because there's all kinds of tips and tricks and things we understand that, a lot of attorneys are working from home. This kind of fits right in your lane. So we're going to add some things and put some things in there. But this was more than just like a guide. It was really like my vision put on paper. It was like everything that I had, the reason I started it and the reason we're doing it this way and the reason we're doing it that way, you wrote about it. And it was like, it's freaking perfect, dude. I can't wait to get it up. I'm going to be doing some graphics and get it up. So
Nugenics.
I'm going to get it up quickly. But no,
so for a long time.
Yeah, it was more than just a guide, man. It was really like just the essence of the app and what the app represents and what it's going to represent in the future and what it represents now, and what a perfect time it is to put it out. So it was great.
I think it's important that people understand what the product is all about and why it's been developed.
But yeah, I agree, because it is important. I mean, it really is something that's going to help people, help attorneys, and help users. It's not just a piece of garbage piece of software that has video capabilities. It really is something.
Oh, it's so much more than that.
Yeah,
I mean, the legal system in and of itself, it takes, trained, barred lawyers years to learn what's going on, let alone someone who's new to the system. And then now you're using a new product to understand it. And I think that the guide in conjunction with the videos and the push notifications are awesome.
Right.
It's going to be that much easier to get into, using the app. And mastering it.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. So let's get back into you. Let's talk about what a talented attorney you are. How many trials alone? I can get into blowing you up. We're going to put all of your credentials, everything up, and all you have to do is go to Avo, right? They can go to Avo and kind of read a little bit about you. You have a 10.0 on Avo. You're a pretty talented attorney, so to say the least. So you are still practicing law.
Yes.
Correct? So if anybody has any criminal matters out there, please give Chris a call. Just shoot us an email here or whatever. Chris will be able to help you.
Send a text if you get popped.
Yeah, send a text if you get popped. But so let's talk about some law. So you're still practicing law. You're still keeping up with everything, which is really, really important. And I know that this show is a law show, and you wanted to talk about some stuff. And I know some things that came into mind was expungement, DUIs, things like that.
Yeah, just
So let's talk about what you want to talk about.
Yeah, we were discussing. Nick and I were discussing, and we had discussed prior to my arrival. Just touching on some basics about different areas of law, commonly asked questions, misconceptions, things like that. So tonight we were going to do a little spot, a few minutes dealing with an often asked question. I actually had written a little article about it on sealings and expunctions or expungements.
Okay.
Whichever word
Like
people want to make.
knockdown or speckled ceiling?
Yeah. You remember when girls had the sponges?
Well, that took a really weird turn.
They don't even have those anymore. They don't have them anymore. They stopped them.
That
They
was
stopped.
a sharp, right?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
the faux walls. I didn't never really preferred that look.
Is it sick that that's the first thing I think about when somebody says sponge?
No,
There's something seriously wrong with me, dude. I mean, seriously, I have some serious matters.
I don't know what's more shocking, what you say or me not being prepared for you to say that. It makes me feel like I get like relaxed and then boom, there's a zinger and I'm like, wait a minute, I'm better than this. I should, you always got to be on guard
Yeah.
with you. And
So let's talk about sponges.
Yeah.
Sponges.
Expunge. So you got a sponge, you need to get expunge
You
it.
go
And
to
when you
Tarpon
say ceiling, you
Springs
mean
and they
like-
have the actual sponges.
Yeah,
they,
sponge docks.
they dive for and pick them
Yeah.
off the bottom.
SEALING ceiling, correct?
Ceiling,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay,
SEA.
so explain that. What is that?
Well, the difference between a sealing and sealing a record and expunging a record, they both have basically the same function, which is to remove the record of the what they call the criminal history arrest record from your record. So if somebody pulls a rap sheet, it doesn't show up. It doesn't show up and say sealed or expunged. It's just blank. It doesn't show the arrest. And of course, there's criteria that have to be met for each, whether it can be sealed or whether it can be expunged. In either case, it's a two-phase process. The first phase is going through what we call the gatekeeper, which is Florida Department of Law Enforcement, FDLE. They have an actual expunge section, and you have to fill out. So part one would be what was the disposition of the charge? Okay, so let's say somebody gets arrested and then state never files a charge. They just file a no information and the case doesn't proceed forward. Or they file a charge and later file what they call a null pros, which means they cease prosecution and the case goes away without a disposition. In those situations, or if it's dismissed for some legal reason, then you can seek an expungement. The two criteria are, and it's changed. It's kind of developed, or actually, I think I used a made-up word. I used to say, it kind of metamorphosized over the years.
Fantastic word, by the way.
Yeah, I think we created another one today in our manual.
Yeah.
Instead of a group chat, it was like group.
Fantastic.
Group casting.
Group casting,
Because
dude. It was
because
fantastic.
we're not actually chatting when we write back and forth to each other. We're speaking and broadcasting, so it's really more like group casting.
It's fantastic. Get a hold of
So-
Merriam-Webber.
Trademark.
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 Yeah, trademark.
Copyright.
Yeah, copyright, trademark. Group casting. Love it.
All right,
Consult
so-
group casting. Okay, so if you the commonly asked question from a client is, hey, how do I get this off my record? The answer is one of three things, the first of which can become applicable, and that's going through the Governor's Office of Executive Clemency and getting a pardon. That's a completely different ballgame.
And we know
So,
that's not happening.
not with some of the governors that have
If they're
been
not going to pay you anything, they sure as hell aren't going to take care of your record.
Right. So if you have no prior convictions of record, and your offense for which you were charged is what they call a qualifying offense, you could either seek to seal or expunge it. Sealing the file means that all of the pertinent agencies, usually the clerk's office, the prosecutor's office, the arresting agency, Florida Department of Law Enforcement, maintain their files, the actual physical files, but they seal them so nobody can access the information in the files without a court order. Expunging a file means that all of those same agencies obliterate the file, so all the paperwork's gone, and they
Shred
keep it, shred it, burn it,
Obliterate. Love that.
Obliterate.
Word, too. You're coming up with some fantastic
it's
words,
gone.
Chris.
So the paperwork's gone, and they keep what I call kind of a skeletal record of the pertinent information about it, because there are certain agencies by statute that can always find out about a sealed or expunged file.
Big
so
brother.
the basic difference is in
It's
both.
never really expunged.
Well, it's removed from your rap sheet or your criminal history record. But in a sealing, the file's still maintained. It's just you can't access it without a court order. In expunction, it's obliterated, but they keep a record of it that nobody can access without a court order. And
What about not guilty pleas? Is it a play along the same
well,
way?
you know,
Is it different?
It doesn't matter what the plea is. It matters what the disposition is.
Oh, yeah,
and,
like
and
they
it
got a
has
not
to
guilty
be,
verdict. Okay.
Yeah, it has to result in a non-conviction. You can't have been convicted. In Florida, unlike some other states, and all states are different, and they use different terminology for different things. Like a suspended sentence is different in New York than what it is in Florida.
Right.
But we have what they call a withholding of adjudication. That means you can basically,
I know what that is.
yeah, you can be sentenced without being formally convicted, and if you complete your sentence, then you maintain the withhold, and you are not a convicted felon.
Is it looked upon? Is it only for felonies?
Or misdemeanors.
Okay, and is it looked upon as an admission of guilt?
Yes.
It depends, because there is case law and there's rules out there where nowadays it wasn't like this, but there was a Supreme Court ruling on it. If you entered a no contest plea and you received a withhold, then the offense could never be used to enhance another offense. Like there are certain offenses in Florida, petty theft for one, DUIs are another one.
So it can't be used on a score sheet because they have score sheets here. In,
Right, but
yeah.
let's say a simple one, petty theft. Somebody goes in and they steal a pack of gum or something from Walmart, and they get a petty theft. Well, if you get two or more, and their convictions, a third or subsequent can be charged as a felony, even though it's below the dollar threshold,
Right.
which would make it a grand theft.
They enhance it.
Right, so it's enhanceable. Yeah. So with enhanceable offenses, it has to be a guilty plea if you get a withhold.
Gotcha.
In order for it to count as a prior or a predicate act for the enhancement.
Gotcha. They do the same with DUIs and
yes.
some other. Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
and certain other enhanceable offenses.
Right.
So in order to get a sealing is a two-phase process. The first is going through FDLE and having them approve and send you a certificate of eligibility. Without the certificate, a judge cannot lawfully sign an order sealing or expunging anything. So that's your Willy Wonka. That's the golden key to the to the candy factory.
Yeah.
You know,
They don't
You
have an everlasting gobstopper like we do.
no, but you have to have the golden ticket,
Right.
And that's the golden ticket, the certificate of eligibility.
Is that a time? Does it take a lot of time for that to happen?
Depending on how backed up the expunged section is at FDLE, it depends. And sometimes they go through these periods where they'll purge them. I've had applications in where I've gotten responses in 90 days. I've also had them where I've gotten them in 15 to 18 months.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's amazing. And now, which is pertinent to the COVID situation, because I printed out, and right here on the seal and expunge process documentation from the FDLE site, it says, attention, due to COVID-19, the seal and expunge section is currently experiencing higher than normal hold times for customer service. So that probably means that people who are out there
2 years
waiting to get something sealed or expunged so they can go out and get a job when they pull their background information,
Right.
these things are going to be sitting
Well,
there
here in Florida, they pull your background information. Even if you are a felon, they still give you the job.
Yeah.
I don't know how many
Yeah.
teachers here that were convicted felons. They just said, well, we're short. Yeah.
Well, and you mentioned the teachers, and I also pulled up, there's reasons for denial, but there are certain agencies by statute that can always find out about a sealed or expunged file.
Oh, government, teaching jobs, positions, stuff like that.
And they're specifically enumerated in the statute, legal word, enumerated.
Another fantastic word by Chris Fry.
Good
I
times.
called them simply exceptions. So even if you have a sealed or an expunged file, if you're a candidate for employment with any criminal justice agency,
Ooh. Like FBI? Would they consider?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
FBI, police academies, they can always find out about a sealed or expunged record. If you're a defendant in a pending criminal prosecution, the prosecutors can find out about a prior sealing or expunction. Whether or not you have a second, because you can only this is one of the rules. You cannot have any prior convictions or convictions stemming from the offense for which you're trying to seal or expunge. And one of the limitations, I believe, that was Governor Bush put in was that you can only seal or expunge one incident or all charges stemming from one incident. It used to be before that, if you had a number of things and you were never convicted, you can seal or expunge all of them up through the date of the first conviction. Now it's one per lifetime and any charges stemming from that one incident.
Interesting.
That's the RICO statutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, actually, it's interesting that you mentioned
Johnny
RICO.
had 9 people go disappearing
Right.
in 9 different cases. Judge, I was thrown out.
Well, if you're a candidate for admission to the Florida Bar for attorneys, they can find out about it. Department of Education, which also applies to all positions with that. So if somebody applies,
Janitorial, doesn't matter.
or even a parent wants to go on to be a class
trip.
mom or something
Or a
like
coach
that.
or something?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's actually, you get fingerprinted, and there's actually different
Yes.
color applications that you fill out
Oh,
for the
interesting.
background
And
check.
with COVID right
one's
now,
blue,
yeah.
one's green.
I'd probably get the black one.
and right now with COVID, the fingerprinting processes are backed up
Oh, my God.
as well.
I got a fingerprint kit. I mean, I can help people
Yeah,
out.
well, come on down. We'll be happy to print you here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not going to wash your hands.
Take all
'cause
your personal
We want to see
information.
what
Yeah.
you touch afterwards.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Give us your credit card informations and
Yeah.
code numbers. And
Yeah.
charter schools, private or parochial schools, local government entities.
Do they do background checks on the priest?
Oh, my God. Here we go.
I
Just
mean,
curious.
that would be up to the Vatican.
Yeah, that's why. That's
I
why.
think
That's why Vatican City is its own country.
I think
Yeah.
that's outside the scope
they
of
expunge?
Tallahassee.
they
Yeah.
expunge everything, don't they?
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, I'm sorry. I just had to get that out. I'm a recovering Catholic.
Any job where you
That guy don't
work
like
with
Catholics.
the Department of Children and Families or vocational rehab, agencies for healthcare administration, agencies for persons with disabilities. Basically, if you are looking for a job or as a subcontractor for pretty much any job that deals with children, the elderly, or the disabled in Florida, all of them are really protected classes. They're able to find out about a sealed or expunged record.
I think that's
Interesting.
fair. I think
Yeah,
that's fair.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, Division of Insurance if you want to become an insurance agent or financial
do that?
advisor.
Man.
Guardian ad litem programs if you're going to be dealing with children. And also Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services for concealed weapon or firearm licensing. So they can always find out about it. Generally, what I would always tell clients is even though...
Don't get caught.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shut the fuck up.
Shut the
just
fuck
on
up Friday.
Not just on Friday.
Yeah, shut the fuck up Friday.
Sir, am I
Right.
being detained?
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Sir, I invoke my fifth.
I don't talk about my day.
but despite the fact that there are these agencies that can always find out about a sealed or expunged record, in my opinion, it's definitely worth doing
Yeah.
because the number of occasions where it will not show up on your record far outweigh those where it will.
Right.
Obviously, if you're like myself, an attorney, it's going to show up. But generally, what I've found is in dealing with those employers in those agencies, if they see that the case ended in a relatively positive or not substantially negative posture, and it was sealed or expunged, oftentimes, if not most times, they don't really pay much attention to
Isn't
it.
there? I've known like guys that go to prison to get their law degree and they're practicing lawyers. So you can actually be a convicted felon and still be an attorney, correct?
Yes.
Is that correct?
I do know one. I know a gentleman that he committed a felony at like 17 or 18.
You had told me that, and I
and
disputed
he actually
that.
went to Barry, and he had he was sweating.
Well, at 17, you're a minor.
Well, yeah.
So
it must have been 18.
Yeah.
So I know he was young though.
Well, you can
He was
catch a felony at
super-
17.
Yeah.
You can catch a felony at 15.
Yeah, if they direct file on you as an adult,
Let me ask you a
it's
question.
The same as an adult disposition. It is an adult disposition.
There's like a character, so you can pass the bar and still not be allowed to practice law, correct?
Correct.
And it's like is it like a judgment? What's the word?
Yeah, I want answers.
Can you get blackballed, or can you know?
Is that what-
Well, you
Is
can't
that-
practice, but you can work as a law clerk, or because you still take the same course load as an attorney. You just don't have the license, the card, to be able to sign legal documents and do
Right.
the things that an attorney can do.
Yeah, so you're making $10 an hour.
So can a convicted felon become an attorney in the state of Florida?
Yes.
I guess it's up to the Florida bar. Are you the Florida bar?
I don't know.
Stop answering my question.
I know many that have. I think
Florida bar is soap.
if I would, I don't know the answer positively, but I would say if it's similar to the same rule that applies to many things in criminal law, it's what they call whether or not the offense that was involved
Gotcha.
was a crime
It's judged on an individual
of
basis.
moral
They look at-
turpitude.
Okay,
For example,
gotcha.
Murder, rape,
Right.
any theft or deceit related offense or things like that, things that involve what would be considered like,
Right.
even not to get religious, but like of the Judeo-Christian values
Right.
were, crimes of moral turpitude, because in other religions or other parts of the world, they don't,
Right.
Satanists are the opposite,
Right.
but it's considered a religion.
Right.
So I would
something like DUIs
Right.
and stuff like that.
I
It
knew
might not
plenty
be.
of
Grandma
lawyers who had
Coke.
DUIs and
Yeah, well, we
you
know a big attorney that has a ton of DUIs, and he's still practicing law as far as I'm
Oh,
concerned. Yeah.
one of the largest firms in the country, in fact.
Yeah. He took PPP money, from what I understand. We're not going to name names.
No.
That's interesting. I do know a situation where a teenager was accused of hitting one of his classmates outside of school, and they arrested him. Come to find out that she falsified the report. She said that he slammed the door or hit her, and
Right.
So they came and they cuffed him, and we got an attorney. And
You hang around some bad people, dude.
hey, man, I think good people make bad decisions,
Are you
but
a
in this
thug?
particular situation, yo, dog, no.
Good times.
What sucks is he has the record of being arrested.
Right.
She does not have, and there's no way for her falsifying the report. It's not like you can pull that. So this is a perfect example of where
Right.
you would want to do that. But what sucks is you got a kid that got popped that didn't do anything. He actually walked away. He's a gentleman. He walked away, and he still got popped, and that sucks.
Yeah. That's probably about 60% of the domestic violence cases out there. Since OJ, it was, I think
He ruined it for all of us.
Yeah, I had published an article in Florida Bar Journal on what we call similar fact evidence, but what we were doing in the article was kind of comparing and contrasting it, because there were rules that allowed it in certain prosecutions, like a child sexual battery, but it was not allowed at least at the time, for domestic violence. And so we were saying, well, the same kind of fundamental principles that they rely on to allow it in the sexual battery case because of the familial relationship, et cetera, also exist in most domestic relationships. So why is it not, there? We didn't really come up with an answer for it. It was more of a hypothetical,
Yeah.
esoteric question for people to consider.
Another great word. Esoteric.
He's just dropping them.
Fry's a stud.
Bombing.
I'm going to be honest.
Bombing, baby. Yeah, so, and since then, and I remember when we wrote the article, it was back in the late 90s, prior to OJ, I think, I want to say it was something like 16 or 18% of domestic violence cases were actually filed, where they
Wow.
actually filed charges. Post OJ, it jumped into the 90s,
Wow.
and they actually created a statute that
I don't got no time for that.
all 50 states changed their domestic violence statutes
Oh,
and
yeah,
took
man.
a quote-unquote pro-prosecution stance on domestic violence.
Well,
And-
now if somebody gets a call
Oh, someone's going to jail.
somebody's
yeah,
taking
somebody's
the ride.
going to
Somebody's
jail.
taking the ride.
Somebody's
that's,
taking the ride.
And let the state attorney figure it
Absolutely.
out. I mean,
Yeah.
somebody slides an ice cube across the table and it lands in someone's lap. Battery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boom, you're in cuffs.
That's crazy.
It's like insane.
Yeah.
So, but then you have those situations where, you have what they call the cycle of abuse, the psychological aspects behind it, and why people stay in abusive relationships and stuff, and and they constantly call the police, then they don't want to prosecute,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden someday one of them ends up dead,
Right.
and now
Right.
who's going to
Yeah.
get the pie in the face,
Right. Yeah, the
You
judge ain't. I can tell you right now, the
Right.
judge ain't going to take that stance. And
Let me ask you a question. In these cases where there is a domestic situation and there is an arrest, and then the victim decides not to prosecute, the state can still move forward with that, right?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. In criminal cases, it's a distinction what they call the victim in law, victim in fact. The victim in fact is the person who's the actual or alleged victim of the offense, but the state of Florida is always the victim of a criminal offense. So on a case caption in any criminal case, unlike civil cases, it's the state of Florida versus so-and-so, Joe Smith. In a civil case, it would be Susan Smith versus Joe Smith. So she's the one deciding whether or not to proceed forward with the case. In criminal, it's the state of Florida,
Right.
which is represented by the state attorney's office. And so they retain the discretion to file charges when someone does not want to file, but also to drop charges or not pursue charges when somebody's jumping up and down and screaming that they want them, because they also realize you got these Hatfield-McCoy situations out there,
Right.
neighbors who've hated each other for years, and they're constantly trying to get each other thrown in jail,
Right,
and
God, just move.
so,
Yeah.
but it does show you one aspect of the system that, depending on who's viewing it, some people view it as a positive, and others view it as a really gross negative, and that is the discretion and the power that the state attorney's office possesses.
Oh,
I mean,
unbelievable.
they have control over your life.
yeah.
If they decide, we're going with it and we're filing it, and you've got, list of witnesses around the block who are saying we were there, this didn't happen, and they decide, well, you know what, he was arrested twice before and we dropped it, so we're going to go through with it and let a jury figure it out. You need a lawyer.
Yeah.
Wow.
Grab your consult app.
Yeah.
That's
Get your consult
that's
app.
That's scary.
It is.
Yeah.
It is, and it can happen to anybody, and that's the thing. Gentleman, great lawyer that I used to work with at Carlson Meisner, Larry Hart. We used to have a saying, and that was very true, and that is, all it takes is an allegation,
Yeah.
and for the right people to believe the wrong information,
Right.
and it doesn't matter who you are
Right.
or what socioeconomic status you are, you're in handcuffs or you're facing a jury,
Right.
if based on an allegation alone. We used to get asked that all the time. It's like, well, they don't have any video, they don't have fingerprints, they don't have this, they don't have that, there's no witnesses, it's her word against mine. Well, if they believe her word beyond a reasonable doubt, you're convicted.
Right.
So literally they can proceed on
Man,
an
that gets scary.
allegation
Yeah.
alone. And anybody can make an allegation.
Sure.
Yeah.
So the discretion and the power that is wielded by the state attorney's office is immense.
That's why you need a good attorney, like Christopher G. Fry Esquire.
It's the truth.
Word dropper.
Seriously, you need a good attorney.
Wordsmith.
Yeah. We were talking about it earlier. These prosecutors know who not to mess with and who to mess with.
Yeah.
If you have a good attorney, they know not to mess with them, and because they're going to fight for their client. Because good attorneys do that.
Well, not only
fight for
that,
their
they
client.
understand the system and the workings of a system.
Right,
You
right.
know, that's the key too.
Yeah, they're passionate about what they do, and they're going to fight for their client. That's huge.
And it's being a lawyer it's like every profession, from professional sports to
Yep.
disc jockeys to there's good, there's bad, there's always going to be a few bad apples in the group.
Sure.
There's the guys that are out there who are, I
Churn and
remember
burn.
one guy, I won't name names as we said, and And this guy withdrew from 18 cases in 6 weeks in the same division. And I'm standing there watching this going like, why are these judges granting these motions? It's like, well, Judge, he doesn't have the financial capabilities. So in other words,
He
the
gave you a
lawyers,
bunch of money already.
he gave me a bunch of money. I'm milking him. We
Right.
get to trial call. I give him some number for a jury trial that I know he can't afford. He's going to say, I don't have that kind of money. And he withdraws. And without having done any work on the
And
case.
he should work for an insurance company.
Yeah.
You know, oh, they're brutal too.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, we'll get to that another night.
Yeah, right. That's the,
I don't have any blood pressure medication.
yes.
Yeah, it's really scary. The power, even law enforcement, or
Yeah.
people that sit in position of power. It's a very
Well,
scary.
that's the reason they put cameras on law enforcement now.
Yeah.
You know, everybody, there's bad, like you said,
Yeah,
there's
the
good
body
and bad,
cams.
good and bad in everybody. You know, in
Yes.
all professions. It doesn't matter who it is.
Just,
So-
I'm sorry, but just on the note with the insurance companies, one of the best lawyers, I think, in the state, and happens to be a long-term friend of mine, Dennis DeVlaming in Clearwater. Anybody who knows Dennis knows he's great. And we had a case together, and it was an insurance fraud case. And because the insurance company became involved, when we signed the client, my oldest daughter was 6 months old. By the time it went to trial, after trying to depose and get all the information from the insurance companies, I had 4 children. Okay, so and this is in criminal court where theoretically the
Right.
cases move
Right.
pretty swiftly.
Right.
It was like 6 years in litigation before the damn thing got in front of a jury.
At any point
crazy.
in time, did you get up there and go, "Oh wait, what's happening with this case?"
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
my God.
There were 3.
Well,
if I
did you
remember
have the
correctly.
Consult app and keep good notes and keep good things?
I wish I had it back then.
Yeah.
Because if I remember correctly,
Where did I put that file?
Yeah.
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 3 different judges. It had switched judges so many times over the course of the 6 years that I think 2 or 3 of the insurance investigators literally came into court and lied right to the judge's face, got caught, and were sentenced to 90-day sentences for contempt
Wow.
on discovery violations. One time they said there was no electronic surveillance. There was. There were also wiretaps that they weren't supposed to use, and we had found out that there might have been, and the judge asked them flat out, nope, we wouldn't do that. And then they came out with a stack of tapes.
Oh, my God.
It's like
man.
in jail.
All right. Yeah.
It was absurd.
Judges don't like when you lie to them.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
You,
Yeah.
you're in their chambers.
You ever see a rowdy defendant or something in court, like cuss at the judge or something, and he gives
Oh,
him
yeah.
like a freaking stiff sentence? Those guys are, obviously, if you're going to yell at a judge, you can yell at anybody.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's, you definitely have to maintain decorum.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Another
if you're
good
in
word.
federal court, it's
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
federal court is a whole different
All right, we'll get off that
Whole
subject.
different ballgame.
Let's, all right, good. So, listen.
Oh, we're gonna end on that note.
Yeah, we're going to end on that note. Great night.
Terribly interesting.
Yeah, it was a good night. We're going to have more of this. I think the show's probably going to end up going 2 hours here, but eventually. But especially when everything's opens back up and we get some more attorneys in here,
Yeah.
because we keep going over every time. Because law's interesting, man. I mean, I learn something new like every day. It's really, really cool, man.
Don't
I
get
like
caught.
it. I thought it was going to be boring. I'll be honest. I thought the shows were going to be like, ugh, God, there's an attorney coming.
No,
in and
they're
talking. But
great.
these are great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great stories, man.
And we get to talk about the app.
Yeah,
and
consult
you
app.
know, and the funny thing about it, or not funny, the thing that's actually turning out to be really interesting about it is how many features on the app there are, and the concept of the app, and how applicable it is to virtually every legal story that we
Right.
discuss.
Right.
There's
Right.
something in there somewhere that this app applies to.
I want to
or
read
is
something
useful
in
for.
here because you really did your research and you really found some cool stuff out. And this really, especially with now, this really kind of applies to what we've done. So this is what you wrote. A surprisingly low number of sole law practices and partnerships consisting of 5 or less employees are ill-prepared or completely unprepared to work remotely. Okay, even small to mid-sized firms with up to 1,500 employees are behind the technological curve or utilizing archaic and outdated technological systems. Some continue to use these platforms and these out-of-date systems, because they have always used them.
Correct.
This has reportedly added deficiencies in client recruitment and communication and case management. The American Bar Association reported that a majority of bar complaints filed by the client relate to poor, inadequate, or a total lack of communication with their attorney or law firm.
Biggest complaint.
So we're solving that.
Yes.
There's no more complaints. We're gonna give that attorney the opportunity by just pressing a couple buttons to be able to stay in touch with all their clients, keep their clients abreast of what's going on, and just have a better understanding and have a better relationship with their client.
And it's going to save them time.
Yeah, it's going to save them time, and it's going to save them, and it's going to get them more business.
Right.
Because if you are good to your clients,
right?
Okay,
your clients
they're
are going to be
refer.
good to you.
Yeah, their clients are going to be good to you. Something's going to happen, and they're going to refer you.
Yeah, I think that's another.
Well, it's
thing.
like saying this: is it unethical to be disorganized and inefficient?
Well,
Sure.
I think it
goes
is
to-
if
it
you
goes to
know
the
that you are and
competency
you don't try to
standard.
fix it. I think a lot of these attorneys, man, they're just so busy, and especially when they're working, and you know this firsthand. You know, when you're working for a larger firm or you're working for a firm and they got you running everywhere trying to do this and trying to do that, you know, it's very difficult to keep up. Really, it is. I mean, you know, it's kind of like a churn and burn, man. Look, clients are extremely important. They're the most important thing. And they don't care if they got to run you to Gainesville to interview a client. That's what they're going to do. So it's not always the attorney's fault, man. The attorney, I know for a fact how good you are with your clients. I know this. I mean, and you've been reprimanded.
The exception.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, I really don't. I think there's some attorneys out there that really care about their clients.
Oh,
I really
yeah,
do.
definitely.
I think that's the reason a lot of attorneys got into the practice of law, because they like to stick up for the small guy. You know what I'm saying? They like that. They like to help. They feel like they're contributing. So I think there's a lot of attorneys out there that really care about their clients. But I also think there's a lot of attorneys out there that care about their clients that sometimes let things slip through the cracks because of time constraints.
Right.
So now we're going to allow those attorneys that really care about their clients to really have a better communication with their client, and with ease, man. Just with a couple presses of the button, it's really going to make a difference. And those ones that are, don't have a better understanding or a better relationship with their clients, better, because guess what? You're dealing with millennials and Gen Zs. If you're not babying them, and if you're not taking care of them, and you're not helping them, and you're not showing them that you care, they're going somewhere else.
Yeah.
It's like the old adage. I mean, I talk about it all the time. I mean, if you think for a minute that you got somebody that's calling you over the phone, and you schedule an appointment 2, 3, 4 days out, if you think this Gen Z is going to show up for that appointment, you're crazy. That Gen Z is going to hang up the phone and go, man, he scheduled me for like 4 days out. I need answers now. I need
Next.
help now. Let me pick up the phone and call somebody else. That's exactly what they're doing. You don't have that problem anymore with the Consult app. You can have a face-to-face consultation and get them signed up right through the Consult app. So huge difference. It's going to help. It's going to help a lot of. It's
Sure,
going to fill in a lot of.
Like you were talking about, attorneys populating their portals or pages on the Consult app. Those happy clients are going to go tell their friends, and their friends are going to be on his portal, and
security and ease of use. Those were the two things that was security and ease of use. It had to be easy for the user, easy for the client. It has to be 100% secure. It has to be really secure. And because that's important.
Yes.
And if you can make it easy for the attorney to use, and like really use it like it's secondhand, and then you make it easy for the client where he doesn't have to travel downtown to come meet with you. You can actually make it easy for them to have a consultation with you. Dude, I mean, come on. I mean, that's huge. That's huge,
the
man.
client's going to love it. The attorney's going to love it because it's going to save him time, and he's going to be able to get back to
I love this
whatever other work he's doing, because he can knock out 5-10 phone calls with clients, and the contact's there. There's no gripes about lack of communication, and
I can't wait to get this up.
And like you said, a happy client is a referring client.
Absolutely.
And there is no better referral when you are an attorney than to have a client refer other clients to you.
Well, how much easier will it be to get a positive AVO review
Oh,
Oh yeah, I mean,
they'd
are
be
you
happy
kidding
to
me?
do it.
Well,
Right.
just from being able, just say, hey, listen, we have to meet. I need to have a consultation with you. I need to speak to you about some matters. And they're like, oh man, can we do it like
I'm gonna
next
be out of
week?
town.
Because no, can we do it next week? Because I've got to
Exactly.
work, and I got to get a ride down there or whatever. It could be a DUI client. I got to get a
Sure.
ride. Oh no. I tell you what, don't worry about it. Just download the Consult app. I'm going to give you a code. You can put it in there, and we'll have a face-to-face consultation over the phone. I don't want to have to get you out and have you come down here. I know you're busy.
They'll be
So
ecstatic.
you're basically showing your clients that you care enough to use this product
Yeah.
and not waste their time either, because as important as the attorney time is, the client time is just as important to
Right.
them. To them, it's just
Sure.
as important. So, God, I'm.
Well, you don't have to find an Uber ride. You don't have to find a
yeah.
friend and tell them what happened.
Well,
can
you
keep
can say,
it
"Look,
on
I'm
the
busy. I'm
DL.
working 2 jobs. This divorce is
Yeah.
killing me. I'm trying to work 2 jobs. I want to get down there and talk to you, but man, I'm just so busy." Say, "Hey, listen. Make some time tonight. Make some time at lunchtime. Let's just sit and let's have a 15, 20-minute consultation. Just download the app. I'm going to text you a code right from the app. I'm going to text you a code. It'll tell you how to download the app. You punch in the code. You're automatically in my dashboard, and I can automatically have a face-to-face consultation with you."
And that's
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Once again, the beautiful
Yeah.
thing is it's all encapsulated in one app.
Right.
You don't have to be on Word to
You're
write
like a
this and-
superhero to the client.
You know.
for sure.
Oh my God, this attorney's offering me this new technology. This is badass, man. This
Oh,
guy
yeah.
knows what he's doing, man.
Wait, what do I got to pay for that?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, it's free for the client, free for you.
Right.
It's not going to cost you
Yeah,
anything
just
to download the
all
app.
you do is download it and
Right.
punch it in.
Yeah. So it's
And the attorney's not sitting there with like 2 computer screens flipping back and forth between
Right.
4 different programs trying to figure out where
Right.
they need to put all their notes here and then look at the files over here. It's
Right.
all right there.
right. Wow, sounds like you got a pretty good product here.
Where do I sign up?
Yeah, where do I sign up? So yeah, $100 firm charge, and that's basically $100 a month, and then it's $49 a user a month. So it's the pricing's affordable. It's cheaper than anything else. Well, there's nothing. I can't say it's cheaper than anything else out there because we have no competition. There's nothing out there that does what we do. So
Well, we've taken some of the features and looked at what service companies charge just for those features.
Right.
And what we're charging is, by and part,
Right.
way less cheaper than, if not right where they're at.
The
and
push-
we're putting all of the push notifications
Alone.
on their own.
Right.
Yes.
Are cheaper than what services
yeah.
are charging.
Just
Right.
alone,
Just for the push.
The push notifications we saw, or it was $100. So if you have a decent sized firm, and say you have 400 or 500 clients, okay, and you've got like 10 attorneys, and you need to send a quick message out instead of sending an email, which is unsecure anyway, and only gets open about 4% of the time by clients, because we know this; those are facts. We've done our research.
Yeah.
Instead of and then you can send a push for something like wishing them goodwill, or hey, you have a holiday party coming up. Just showing them, having that marketing, staying in touch with your clients. It's very important. It shows that you care. It shows that you're thinking of them, and you're texting it, or you're actually sending them a push notification, which gets open 90